There are a few of them, actually. A couple of these awards up on the wall. Some of this stuff was done on a 4-track tape machine, which I take a lot of pride in. We didn't go digital here until '97, which sounds... I think we were the last station in the Chum group to get digital equipment of the 33 stations, or 32 at the time. Some of the stuff we did was promoting the morning show on 1050 Chum, which was an oldie station at the time. And this gets back to relating to the audience. And some of these bits were done along the lines of, say, an old kids' TV show from the 50s, which I'm not old enough to remember, but I know what they looked and sounded like. We produced them in that way. They were done like, one of them in particular was promoting the Bob, Sam, and Robbie show in the morning. And the bit was called Space Captain Jim. The promo was called Space Captain Jim. And Space Captain Jim is a fictitious 50s kids superhero. And he had a sidekick, Mercury, played by myself. And it was done in a way that mentioned oldies or the morning show or a combination thereof at least 4 times in the script. And you remembered it because it was different. It stood out like not like a sore thumb, because it wasn't a sore thumb. It was a good thumb. And to this day, my son's 15 and my daughter's 12. And I played that spot for them and they were, "That's the coolest thing ever." They have no idea what a kid's TV show would have been like at the time, you know? But that stuff I take a lot of pride in because it's memorable. And I played a number of elements. I was speaking to some third-year radio students a few months ago, and that was one of the spots I played. And I prefaced it by saying, you had an oldies audience, and here's why we produced it the way we did, and here's why it worked. Great script, great voiceover, not my part. Music choice, everything worked extremely well. And these kids who were 20, 21, 22 years old at the time were wide-eyed and thought it was one of the best things they'd ever heard. It wasn't, you know, stutter step, beat mix, all that stuff, which, you know, has its place. It was straight ahead, memorable, and you knew what it was about. You didn't listen to it and at the end of it go, "That was really great. What was that for?" Because there were a lot of great TV commercials that, "Hey, that was fantastic. I don't know what the product was." You know what the product was in this promo. And a number of these awards we did for our AM station, which was oldies, as I say at the time. And we won, you know, we did very, very well in New York. When I say we, I mean myself and Richard Maxwell, who wrote and voiced most of it. And the promos that we did were for the Bob, Sam, and Robbie show, as I said, or we did some stuff for Chum FM as well. But we produced things that were out of the norm. Promos, in a lot of cases, to me, nowadays sound very generic and everything sounds kind of the same. Not that it's bad, not that it's good, it just sounds the same. We always strove to do things that sounded differently, that when they ran in a stop set, first or last, whenever they were plotted in a commercial break, they stood out and you remembered them. And they were quirky and they were fun and they had personality, and sense of humor to me is of vital importance. Although you probably couldn't tell by this interview, I'm a really funny guy. But humor to me anyway is a great conveyor of a number of emotions, not just laughter. But you can convey all kinds of feelings through humor, whether it be sarcasm or subtlety or whatever, or you can hit them over the head with a punchline. I liked producing and still like producing stuff that sounds different, that sounds, you know, like my bubble's not quite centered, you know?